head coach for the Carson-Newman Lady Eagles, Mike Mincey, joining us. Coach, first of all, congratulations. A dominating win for you all today over Newberry. Great way to close out the regular season.
Yeah, it was. This game had some importance in terms of conference standings for us. Newberry was locked in at 4. They weren't going to be able to move, win or lose, really. But for us, NCAA tournament, at-large bids on the line. I think the way I saw some things happen today in games that will knock us up to number 2 in the standings. So, good to come out with a win. This time of year, it's always kind of hard as long as the season's been going. So, really proud of the first half effort, more so than the second half.
I felt like that second quarter really put this game out of reach for you all. 14-2, you outscored them in the second quarter. What enabled that offense to really get going and find their groove in the second quarter?
Well, we jumped up starting the seniors, and we kind of rotated around a little bit this year. But the first quarter, when that second group came in, they gave us a lot of energy, picked up some steals, some easy buckets. We ended up getting 26 points in that first quarter. In the second quarter, it was more of some of our defense, some of Newberry not making shots. They only scored 2 points. We only get 14, which is not really something that we don't want to do a whole lot of that. We want to score a lot more than that. But anyhow, to carry a 21-point lead in the half, we felt very good about ourselves coming out in the break.
We'll touch on the seniors in just a bit, but I thought the game from Addison Bird was absolutely tremendous. She'd been struggling a little bit of late, of course, had that 14-point performance against UVA-Wise, then follows it up today, 13 points from the floor, but I thought her defense really transitioned into her having an offensively successful day.
Yeah, she's been someone that, in all reality, she's a starter for us. She's a preseason all-conference type player. We just feel comfortable right now where she's coming off the bench and providing big minutes and big points. She's that punch off the bench that we kind of need. And right now her role is the other team's a little fatigued. She's able to come off the bench. She gives us good firepower from an offensive standpoint. And, we're certainly going to need her play down the stretch into tournament time.
One more to touch on before we get to the 4 seniors. Braylon Weichel. She came in, drilled that pretty 3 early on in the first quarter. Kind of silent offensively, but she was a bit of a floor general, really directing everything. Even late in the ball game, you have a real bona fide player the next 3 years here.
Yeah, she's a really solid player. There's no doubt about it. I think she's third in our conference in scoring as a freshman. She's on pace to potentially break our all-time or our single-season three-point made record and all that good stuff. She's just a phenomenal player, somebody that we trust with the ball in her hands in the biggest of environments. So, yeah, she's definitely got a bright future ahead of her here on Mossy Creek.
We're chatting with head coach Mike Mincey after a 77-46 win for Carson-Newman over Newberry here on Senior Day. Time to touch on those 4 seniors, and only 3 of them able to play today. We'll start with Kayla Marisites. What a career she has had here at Carson-Newman. 57 career double-doubles, 23 on the season with a 22.11 rebound finish today. It's indescribable what she's done for this program.
Yeah, people aren't going to really realize what she brought to the table until we're playing without her next year, when it's more of a collection of getting rebounds. But ever since she stepped foot here, our tide has turned into being one of the better programs in our region, and obviously we've been able to play at least 1 year on the national stage in the Elite 8 with her being here. And some of the stuff that she's been able to do, both in the classroom and on the floor, I've said it the other day, is likely to not be done again. And from a rebounding span, when you look at her height, pound for pound, I really think she's probably the best rebounder in the country, because she's not 6'2" or 6'3". She's doing it at 5'9" and just having to work on strength and positioning. And so she and Kelsey both have just been a joy to have here at Carson-Newman.
9th best scorer all time at Carson-Newman. You talk about players who've been consistent. Tori Griffin, been here for all 4 of these consecutive 20-win seasons for you all. First player in 30 years to be a part of 4 consecutive 20-win seasons. What has she meant to this program?
Well, it's been a level of stability for Tori. She sometimes she started, sometimes she hasn't, sometimes she's come off the bench. She's come in at critical times and provided a real scoring punch for us. She's been able to pick up steals. She's a big guard in the press. Tori's just been, and Tori's a nursing student too, so she's got a little bit harder than the others, because nursing at Carson-Newman is very, very difficult. And with some of the stuff that she's trying to do in her nursing degree and then come into practice and film, it's real challenging for her, but real proud of how she's hung in there. Kept a great attitude this entire time. And, we talked about the other day, her sophomore year when we went to the Elite 8, she made some really big plays down the stretch there to help us win 2 titles.
So we've touched on Kayla, we've touched on Kelsey, we've touched on Tori. You mentioned nursing degree. That brings up Chandler Gear, who unfortunately could not play today.
Yep.
She made a decision in the fall to kind of sit this season out, focus on her academics, and I know she's well on her way to a job in nursing now.
Yeah. She actually played in the fall, and it was after Christmas break that, with just the amount of injuries that had piled up on her body, she decided it was best to focus, solely on nursing and try to make sure that she had that right, because she had been out for quite some time with injuries, and it was just going to be hard for her to get back into get her body back in shape to where it needed to be. And now she just landed a job, I believe it was in North Carolina, in the field that she's trying to, getting a degree in. So,
fantastic.
Proud of her and proud of her. She's one of those that had a great attitude during this time frame when, injuries have struck her down and not allowed her to play. And so the decision she had to make was a tough one, but I think it was the best one for her.
Coach, a 21-win regular season, but you're not done. Playoffs coming up here on Wednesday. Congratulations. Go get them.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Mike Mincey joining us here on our Domino's postgame report. We'll take a timeout.